This is internet, basically TV shows on the internet.
A lot of people say, since that last video come out, Jesse talked about how you watch your TV. What kind of shows you like to watch? I like them all. All kinds of shows and TV programs. Watch House. House MD. House Medical Doctor. He's a good boy. Cripple. Still work every day in his life. Just like my daddy done. Real. I like it reality shows. And Duggars. Meet the Duggars. 18 and counting, 19. How many are they up to now? 20? 19? Heard one of their babies is pregnant with another baby. Of course, I got cable, but what the hell's the point? The internet out there, you can watch everything you want. Netflix, you watch it on there, and watch it right on your PlayStation, and your Xboxes, and your Wii's, and your DS's, and your HP, PSPs, and what have you. Now, what the hell's the point of cable? $60 damn hole in my ass. Got your Hulus, and your YouTubes, and your Puyus, and all that such, and watch every show ever was made, and then shows that ain't even been made. Watch your iJustines, and your Sexy Feels, and your iFeels, and your Amazing Atheists, and your iJustines, and your Sexy Justines. She's a good boy. Your Ray J's, and your AJ's, and your IJ's, and your HJ, and your BA Brockus. That's a good show, 18.
All right. Do you agree with Jesse? Is Jesse right? Is this a whole just big waste? Is cable a big waste? Is DirecTV? Is all that stuff just $60 hole in the behind?
I think the internet's a big waste after seeing that. That seems like a waste of my life.
That's well, that's what Jesse's opinion is.
I reckon he has a point.
He may have. Well, I think it really depends on the person. The idea of an a la carte cable television system has been thrown around for years. It never happened really, and the problem is that cable programmers would charge a lot for these kinds of packages, and what would happen is people would just probably end up buying the regular packages anyway, so there's really no point for it. But cable rates have really climbed. Since 1996, they've climbed over 59%, which is more than 3 times the rate of inflation. So it's pretty ridiculous, the pricing. Time Money interviewed a guy in Hollywood, California named Brian Bentley. He compared his viewing time, which was 20 hours a month, so this guy's more of a casual viewer, to his cable bill, which is, he expected it to go up again to $125 a month. He figured out it was going to cost him $6.25 per hour of TV viewing. So my question is what is the value for you watching TV? And is cable a good value for you? Is it not? Obviously, you guys maybe watch more than he does, 20 hours, that's a pretty casual viewer. Sean, would you watch Jersey Shore for $6.25 an hour?
No.
Allie, would you watch Dance Moms for $6.25 an hour? I'd ask Mr. Winsenberg if he'd watch Big Brother for $6.25 an hour, but you'd watch it for $60.25 an hour probably, so.
It's not an hour. I pay a monthly fee.
All right. Well, anyway, a lot of things has changed. The internet obviously has made so much possible that wasn't possible before with streaming, online streaming. Video game consoles are something I really want to hit on because video game consoles really change things. With the advancement of gaming consoles like the PS3, Xbox 360, and Nintendo Wii, you can get internet streaming right to your TV through companies like Netflix that are the biggest one for that. There's also internet connected TVs that you can buy that'll plug right into the internet and still do everything else you want it to do. It's a giant TV with internet connection. You've seen the commercials, Sony's selling them now, really trying to push them, and they look pretty nice. So now you no longer have to watch TV on a small computer screen if you don't want to. That also used to be one of the drawbacks, is that you only had maybe your size of your computer monitor. Well, now that's a non-factor. So we look at this alternative to cable. Let's start with YouTube, which is completely free, and basically YouTube is interesting because at some point or another they make deals with different companies. They make deals with Sony, CBS, Showtime, Discovery, all kinds of different companies. And basically they get the rights to show full-length legal copies of these TV shows. And you'll get shows like Jimmy Kimmel Live, As the World Turns, Man vs. Wild, Mythbusters, and you'll get the old classics. You get a lot of the old classics like Bewitched, MacGyver, Cat Presents, I Spy. The problem with YouTube, and this is the biggest problem in my opinion, is that a lot of times their agreements change. Their agreements are constantly subject to change, and all of a sudden they will yank a video because they no longer have an agreement with the company. And several years ago they got the rights to MacGyver. However, if you go into their go on and try to watch MacGyver, you'll notice there's little bits and pieces of shows, but you can't watch a full-length show on here, and that's because it got pulled. It's no longer available. I looked and looked, and it's not on there anymore. So you can get up to like a limit lengths of certain clips. You can do like homages or whatever, but you can't get the full show. However, they still do have some of the, basically anything that they haven't pulled the agreement on is still out there. Like, and you can look on here. They have parts 1, 2, 3. So I do the show, and obviously one of the drawbacks is you have to.
I don't know, thanks. It's my baby. Everything checks out, General. Good. Melissa asked me to give her a love.
Everything.
If you want to
Like,
come see you offer set.
obviously you have to like change it and switch, hit the new one because it only has a certain length that it can run on there, but you can still watch it on there, and you don't have to deal with a lot of the commercials like you might for other types of shows. So that's the only drawback with YouTube really, is that their agreements with companies will change and their videos will be yanked. Next we have Hulu, and it's interesting to note that the owners of Hulu, among the owners of Hulu, are NBC Universal, News Corporation, and the Walt Disney Company.
Who is the second one?
News Corporation, and they own a bunch of different stuff. You can look them up later, but Hulu.com is totally free, and I'm not going to play anything off there, but it's totally free, and we're going to experiment a little with that in the other rooms. And there's also Hulu Plus. Okay, now Hulu Plus is a subscription service that allows customers to basically go off the TV if you want to watch it. If you want to use your Xbox or anything like that, or smartphone, tablet, you have to have Hulu Plus, and it is a subscription service. It's not free. All right, then we go to Netflix. And Netflix is a really interesting company. It started in 1997 in California. They started by offering DVD rentals and sales, and they got a huge promotion by selling Bill Clinton's grand jury testimony in the Monica Lewinsky affair for 2 cents a piece. And that gave them a big boost. Still, they weren't doing real well, and they, one year they actually lost $25 million, and only brought in $5 million in profits. But then Xbox 360 came out, things started to pick up for them, and then they started streaming on Xbox 360. So it's very important for Netflix that Xbox 360 coming out and having that capability. They also worked with Apple for a while. They're working more with Android systems now, but it's slow going, and they don't work with quite all the Android systems. I believe Honeycomb still gives them problems, so they're working on it. You can get some sort of play on it, but it's not going to be very good. Then we have a little company called Play On TV. Play On is different. It works differently because these others that I've mentioned so far, these are like host servers. Play On is not a host server. It's a browser, basically displays your TV, surfs the internet for you, and runs off third-party links. And basically the way this works is every time you browse on your computer sends out code called scripts. And when you download Play On, you basically download a script that will all you have to do is go into that and type that in, and it will send that out for you and connect you to those third-party links. And the biggest benefit of Play On is just how much you can have work on it. You can run this on pretty much any sort of console. You see Wii, Xbox 360, PlayStation 3, iPhone, iPad, blah, 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 Netgear, smart TVs, anything over here. You've got, it will work on any other VLNA client devices. So basically, this will run on anything. It's not real picky, and so for that reason, it's very convenient. Now for my last one, this is kind of an example of something you have to be careful. This is called Sidereel. Sidereel is a browser for movies and shows. It's kind of similar to Play On, but it's a little bit different in that, and it's not quite as safe. Sidereel claims that most episodes can be viewed within an hour of the desired episode airing on cable. And the way it does this is it shows links to streaming sites that you can go to. However, and this is what you really got to be careful with, this is one of the first ones I went on that they link to. And I'm doing it this way just because it takes way too long to do it through them. Uh-oh. One of their links just has been shut down, and you have to be really careful. Now, chances are you're probably not going to get in trouble if you watch something that's illegally streaming. You usually only get in trouble for downloads, but why take the chance, and why basically screw other people out, help screw people out of money and rob people and basically commit piracy.
So you're saying Sidereel links to illegal sites?
They will. You have to be careful because they will have some legit ones in as well, but you really have to be careful and surf through and make sure you don't get on something like this, which just got shut down, and as you can see, they are now in hot water. So that is about all for my presentation. Now we are going to go in the other room and do some hands-on stuff.